The winter had stayed too long. In a quiet town where the trees stood bare and the sky often looked pale and tired, a young girl named Sama waited by her window every morning. She would wrap her hands around a warm cup of tea and watch the frozen world outside. Snow covered everything, the rooftops, the roads, even the branches that once danced in the wind. It felt like the earth was asleep. Spring will come, her mother would say. But to Sama, it felt like winter had forgotten to leave. One morning, as she stepped outside, something caught her attention. It was small, so small she almost missed it. Near the edge of the path where the snow had begun to melt, a tiny drop of water fell from an icicle. Drip. Sama paused. Drip. She smiled a little. It wasn't much, but it was something different. That afternoon, the sun stayed out longer than usual. It wasn't strong, but it felt gentle on her face. Sama closed her eyes and stood still, letting the warmth rest on her cheeks. The next day, she noticed a patch of grass. It looked weak and pale after months under the snow, but it was green. Spring is trying, Sama whispered. Days passed, and the changes slowly grew. The snow began to shrink, turning into soft, muddy ground. The air smelled fresher. The sky looked bluer. Sama started walking farther each day, exploring places she hadn't seen since autumn. One morning, she heard a sound she had almost forgotten. Chirp. She looked up quickly. A small bird sat on a branch, tilting its head as if it had something important to say. Are you back? Sama asked softly. The bird chirped again, louder this time. Soon, more birds joined, filling the quiet air with gentle music. Sama laughed. You brought spring with you, didn't you? The days became brighter and the nights less cold. Sama no longer needed her heavy coat. She could feel the wind, not as a sharp bite, but as a soft touch. Then came the rain. At first, she didn't like it. The ground turned messy and her shoes got wet. But her mother told her rain helps everything grow. So Sama watched, and slowly she saw it happen. Tiny green shoots pushed up from the soil. Trees that once looked lifeless began to show small buds. And one morning, near her favorite walking path, Sama saw something that made her stop completely. Flowers. Small, colorful flowers, yellow, purple, and white, had bloomed quietly as if they had been waiting for the perfect moment. Sama knelt beside them, her eyes wide. You're so brave, she said. After all that cold, you still came. A soft breeze passed through, making the flowers sway gently like they were answering her. That evening, Sama sat outside as the sun set. The sky was painted in soft pink and orange, and the air felt calm and alive. Children laughed in the distance, birds sang their evening songs, and the world no longer felt asleep. It felt awake. Sama took a deep breath and smiled. Winter had been long and cold, and at times it felt endless, but spring didn't rush. It came slowly, quietly, in little signs that only careful eyes could see. A drop of melting ice, a bird's first song, a patch of green, a blooming flower. Sama looked around and whispered, You came back. And spring in its gentle way had answered,